Good day everyone. We are here to present a comparison between multiple cropping system and sole cropping or monocropping system. Our focus will be on their biological and physical factors and as well as social and economic factors, highlighting their unique advantages and disadvantages. First, let's define our terms. Multiple cropping is the practice of growing two or more crops in the same field within a year or season. So on the other hand, monocropping means planting only a single crop in a given area continuously. Each system has strengths and weaknesses that affect both the environment and society.
Sixth, we have increases organic matter. Each crop leaves behind different residue which decompose and add organic matter to the soil, improving fertility and water retention. After harvest, each crop leaves behind stems, leaves, and roots. These break down into compost-like material, improving soil fertility and helping it hold water better. 7. We have moderate soil temperature. Having a continuous crop overprotects the soil from direct sunlight, keeping it cooler and preventing heat stress on roots. When crops cover the soil, they block direct sunlight. This keeps the soil cooler during hot days and protect plant roots from heat stress. 8. We have reduces evaporation. The layered canopy of crops minimizes direct exposure of the soil to the sun, which helps conserve water. A canopy of leaves acts like a natural umbrella. It shades the soil, slowing down water loss and helping conserve moisture, especially useful during dry spells. And 9, we have breaks past cycles. By switching or mixing crops, the life cycle of pests is disrupted, reducing the need for chemical pesticides. Pests often target specific crops. By repeating or mixing crops, their life cycles are interrupted, reducing infestations and lowering the need for pesticides. And last, we have resilient to weather extremes. If one crop fails due to drought, flood, or typhoon, the other crops may survive, ensuring farmers still have a harvest. If one crop is damaged by drought, flood, or typhoon, other may still survive. This gives farmers a better chance of harvesting something, even in tough conditions.
Biological and physical multiple cropping disadvantages. In roots interference, when crops grow together, the roots may compete for the same water and nutrients underground or limited growth. So in shading effects, taller crops such as corn may block sunlight from the shorter crops like eggplant, lowering their yield. In nutrient imbalance, if crops with high nutrient demand are combined, and some areas may become depleted faster, leading to uneven soil fertility. In complex layout, farmers must be carefully plant which crops together, and otherwise poor combination may lead to the reduced harvest. In harder crop monitoring, with many crops in the same field, it becomes more difficult to check for pests, disease, or nutrient deficiencies. Uneven water distribution, irrigation system designed for one crop may not provide enough for water of all, so especially in roots deeper. And uneven ripening, crops mature at different times, making harvest more complicated and labor intensive. Cross combination, some crops may be released substance into the soil that then negatively affect the growth of the others. Phenomenon called is allelopathy. shared pest host is certain crops may serve as alternative host for pests and making infestation more difficult to control. A difficult mechanization, tractors, planters, and harvesters are designed for a single crops. So, multiple cropping often requires manual labor. So, yeah.
Next, for the number 6, we have targeted pest control. In monocropping, pest control become more straightforward because the farmer is only dealing with one host crop. This makes it easier to study the specific pests that commonly attack the crop and apply the right treatment effectively. Instead of worrying about multiple pest species from different crops, farmer can focus their efforts on controlling with the few that matter the most for their monocrop, which saves time and resources. Next, for the number 7, we have the simpler monitoring. Monitoring the crop is also much simpler since the entire field looks uniform. It is easier to spot if something is unusual. For example, if there are signs of stunted growth, discoloration, or pest infestation, farmers can notice it faster because the changes stand out more in a uniform field. This helps in making quicker decisions and responding to problems before they spread widely. For the number 8, we have the no compatibility issues. In multiple cropping system, sometimes one crop can compete with or suppress the growth of another, either through nutrient competition, shading, or allelopathy, which is when one plant releases chemicals to harm another. With monocropping, this problem is completely avoided because there is only one type of crop in the field. That means no inner plant competition and smoother overall management. Next, for the number 9, efficient land preparation. Another advantages in land preparation when the entire field is planted with just one crop. Machines like tractors and plows can operate more efficiently since the soil preparation is uniform across the whole area. This consistency reduces the amount of adjustments farmers have to make and makes fieldwork quicker, easier, and less costly. Lastly, we have the easier technology adoption. Monocropping is very compatible with modern technology. Machines such as combine harvesters, planters, and drones are designed to work most efficiently in fields that are uniform. A single crop layout allows these technologies to operate at full efficiency, increasing productivity and lowering labor costs. This makes monocropping attractive for farmers who wants to adopt modern mechanization and digital monitoring systems.
So hello everyone, so I'm going to discuss the biological and physical disadvantage of monocropping. So monocropping is the practice of planting the same crop on the same land year after year. While it seems efficient, but it creates several biological and physical damages. So first, it weakens the soil structure because same root system doesn't improve the soil, so it making it prone sa degradation. So second, it increase the pest and disease problems since isa ra man ka crop ang imo itanom, so ang pest and pathogen ana will spread faster and build up in the soil. Third, monocropping causes nutrient depletion since the same nutrients are repeatedly used without replenishment, the soil becomes exhausted. So, fourth, the use of heavy machinery leads to soil compaction, which can cause restrict sa root growth and water movement. So, the fifth is it increases the risk of erosion. For example, a bare soil after harvest, dali rigid kay siya wash away sa rain or it can be blown by the wind. 6.
a monocrop field provides no habitats for beneficial insects. Kaya if wala na beneficial insects, it can reduce the natural pest control and may imbalance na itong nature. So over the time, no, there is also a loss of soil carbon and organic matter, which reduce soil fertility and water holding capacity. And because of this, ang farmer ga-rely na nun or ga-depend na nun sila sa mga chemicals just like the fertilizer and pesticide, which can cause nga dako na nun sila gasto and even makaharm sa environment. Lastly, monocropping system are less adaptable to climate change. Like a single drought or pest outbreak or disease can wipe all the entire field, like tanan mo field kay ma-wipe away, ma-damage tanan. So in short, a monocropping may be simple or efficient, but it can damage dagan kaayo. It can be soil health, increase risk, and making the farming less sustainable. So alternatives like crop rotation and intercropping are much better options.
Multiple cropping gives many social and economic benefits for farmers and their families. First, it provides diverse household food. Families can eat a balanced diet straight from their own farm. For example, if they plant rice, vegetables, and fruits, they don't need to buy much food outside. Second, it gives a steady income flow. Since crops are harvested at different times, farmer can earn money little by little throughout the year. For example, vegetables can be sold weekly while rice is sold after a few months. Third, it means less food purchases. Family save money because they grow most of their food like tomatoes, corn, or leafy green vegetables. Fourth, it encourages family labor. Everyone in the family has a role. Parent can plant, children can help in harvesting, and grandparents may look after small livestock. This strengthens family bonds. Fifth, there can be surplus for markets. After the family consumes what they need, the extra produce like bananas or sweet potatoes can be sold to earn extra income. 6. It supports small industries. Crops such as corn and coffee can be processed into value-added products like corn chips or coffee powder, which provide more income. 7. Multiple cropping promotes food sovereignty. This means farmers control their own food supply and are not fully dependent on big companies or imported goods. 8. It can help preserve knowledge. Traditional intercropping and farming wisdoms are passed down to the next generation. For example, planting corn in between banana trees is method taught by elders. 9. It lowers price risk. If the price of one crop goes down, the other crops can still bring earnings to balance the loss. And lastly, multiple cropping encourages seed saving. Farmer can keep their own seeds and share or exchange them with neighbors, making the community more self-sufficient.
Have social and economic disadvantages. So first, we have skilled labor needed. So we need workers who knows a lot about farming, who is knowledgeable about different crops, because managing different crops together is tricky. Without skilled people, without knowledgeable people, crops may not grow well. And next, we have high seed cost. Buying seeds for many crops cost more money than just one crop. It makes expensive to start, especially those farmers who just start to practice multiple cropping. Next, we have stressful scheduling. planning when to plant and harvest multiple crops is complicated and can be stressful because each crop has different needs and timings. Next, we have limited machinery. So, of course, crops have different needs and timings. Also, different crops have different machineries to be used also. So machinery may not be enough or suitable for all kinds of crops grown together. So it caused delays and extra work. Next, we have storage issues. So more crops means you need more space and better storage facilities to keep them fresh. So it is also a problem. And next, we have uneven market demand. So some crops might sell well while others don't. So it makes making it hard to predict how much money you'll earn. Next, we have financial planning. Financial planning is harder because of the different crops and the varying cost and returns. Managing money becomes more difficult, and it is very hard also to the farmers to predict how much outputs will be returned to them. So next, we have weak support services. So farmers might not get enough help or advice for managing multiple crops compared to single crops. So farmers also need someone who can advise who is knowledgeable to share their knowledge about different crops. So it is hard for them to start multiple cropping because they are lack of knowledge about different crops. So one of the reason is weak support services, especially in the government. Farmers also need support from the government, especially those farmers who just start to apply multiple cropping. And next, we have marketing takes time. So finding buyers for many types of crops takes longer, requires more effort and manpower. Next, we have difficult export. So we all know that different crops have different demands, have different values in international markets. So it is harder because it also has different regulations and standards for each crops. So for the conclusion, these factors makes multiple cropping challenging socially and economically despite its benefits in land use and productivity. They require more work, planning, money, and support to be successful. The complexity in managing several crops at once means farmers face higher risks and more obstacles in running their farms efficiently. So that would be all for the social and economic disadvantages.
Social and economic advantages of monocropping. Number 1 is easier credit access. Monocrop farms, especially large-scale ones, are often seen by banks as low-risk investment. Since they grow a single high-demand crop, the income is more predictable. This market is easier for farmers to get loans for machinery, seeds, fertilizers, and other farms needs. Banks prefer dealing with something they understand and can evaluate easily. And cropping fits the profile. Number 2 is contract farming. Monocropping makes it easier for farmers to enter into formal agreements with companies such as food processor and exporters. These contracts guarantee that the farmer will sell a certain volume of specific crop. In return, companies may offer support such as input, training, and even technical assistance. This agreement reduces uncertainty and provide income security. Number 3 is meet export standard. International markets demand uniformly crops should be a same size, shape, and quality. Growing a single variety of crops under uniform condition makes it much easier to meet these strict standards. Examples: bananas, mangoes, pineapples grows for an export and often monocropped for consistently quality. Number 4 is lower market cost. Selling just one crop in bulk means farmer can simplify the market process. There's no need for packaging or promote multiple products. Logistic, branding, and advertising are easier and cheaper when dealing with one uniform product, especially if it is already has an established market. Number 5 is streamlined inputs. Because only one crop is grown, farmers don't need to purchase and manage different kinds of seeds, fertilizers, or pesticides. Everything is focused on one single crop, which simplify inventory management and reduces confusion. It's also easier to apply treatment or use machinery designed especially for that crops. Number 6, stable price deals. Monocrops farmers often have an access to long-term supply contract with buyers, which allow them to lock in a prices before harvest. This protects them from sudden drops in market price. These price agreements often more financially stability, which is especially helpful for planning long-term investment for budgeting for the farm. Number 7, less farmer training needed. Since the farmer is focusing on only one crops, they do not need to learn multiple farmer techniques. They can specialize and master a single crop system, which save the time and training resources. This also reduces the need of diverse knowledge in pest management, planting cycles, or irrigation for different types of crops. Number 8, attract investors. Investors, including agribusiness firms and venture capitalists, prefer farming operations that are scalable, consistent, and predictable. Monocrop farm fits these molds well. This farm offers clear business models, easier risk management, and the potential for high returns through large-scale production. Number 9, better infrastructure. Government and private companies often prioritize infrastructure like farmer-to-market roads, storage facilities, or irrigation system in areas when major crops are grown. Since monocropping usually focuses in staple or high-value crops, these are areas lent to receive more investment infrastructure, benefiting both the farmer and the community. Last one, number 10, economies of scale. This is one of the strongest economic advantages of monocropping. Producing a large volume of one crop reduces the cost per unit. Fixed costs such as labor, fuel, and equipment are spread across more output. For example, a tractor working on 10 hectares is more cost efficient than one working on 1 hectare, lowering overall production costs and increasing profit. In summary, monocropping offers significant economic and social benefits like easier financing, predictable income, lower cost, and better access to market and infrastructure. These advantages make it attractive for large-scale farming, especially in region focused on export and industrial agriculture.
Now, let's talk about the disadvantage of monocropping. The first problem is price dependence. Since farmers only grow one type of crop, their entire income relies on the crop market price. So if prices suddenly go down, the farmers suffer a big loss. Second is seed dependence. Many monocropping systems rely on seeds that came from big companies. This means farmers can always save or reuse seeds, making them less independent. Third is it reduces diet diversity. So communities that focus on only one staple crop often end up eating less variety, and this can lead to malnutrition. Fourth is seasonal unemployment. So jobs are mostly available only during planting or harvesting time, and in between there's little work for farm laborers. Another issue is that monocropping often favors large farms. Small farmers find it hard to compete with commercial farms that can produce in bulk. And also, the input costs are very high. Farmers needed to spend more on fertilizer and pesticide, and this can sometimes put them into debt. There's also the risk of oversupply. When too many farmers grow the same crop, the market becomes flooded and the price drops even more. In addition, monocropping causes soil decline over time, so farmers need to buy more and more fertilizer, which again increases their expenses. It also weakens local systems. For example, traditional food exchange or barter systems appear when everyone only grows one type of crop. And lastly, monocropping makes farmers more vulnerable to climate disasters. If a typhoon or a drought destroys that one crop, the farmers are left with nothing.
In summary, multiple cropping helps promote biodiversity and food security, while monocropping offers efficiency and ease of management. So each system has its own advantages and disadvantages, and the key is finding the right balance to ensure both productivity and sustainability in agriculture. Thank you for listening.